Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get to this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find my background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find the advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. So, if you want to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to the episode, the bonus episode of Wednesday Awakens. Now, I'm not in my silly persona or anything, but it's not even like Season 2 hadn't premiered on Disney Plus just yet. But, however, what I'm going to say, of course, will surprise the Mandalorian fans. That Season 3 of The Mandalorian, which follows the adventure of Din Djarin. That's the name, Din Djarin. Played by Pedro Pascal on his adventures. But in Season 2, he's going to bring along Baby Yoda. And maybe it'll be a search for his birth parents. You know? The Baby Yoda's birth parents. Other than that, I just want to say that we are, of course, heading towards that. But although it's been confirmed by Jon Favreau that everything's ready at pre-production, but unfortunately they cannot begin filming, however, because of the coronavirus outbreak going on. Yes, guys, I mean, in case you haven't seen the Mandalorian reviews from episode 1, 2, 3, and 4 separately, go listen to those right now. But there's topics going on, but you can skip the topics to the spoiler-free review and then the full-on review. I warn you, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, do so now. But then, of course, you got to, of course, and I did the episode 5 through 8 all together because of personal issues going on. There's personal things going on. And I also had to watch Iron Man 2 on Disney Plus for Christmas, however, because Christmas is going to come on Tuesday. And I did a review on Iron Man 2 with a spoiler. Well, I did a review on it. My thoughts in the review. But hey, I'm just saying, of course, it's just how it is. That's the way that, but although pre-production, that's a good thing. The filming stage, unfortunately, however, due to the outbreak going on, you can't do that. But I'm already excited for Season 2. Once the outbreak is over, then filming will begin again. I mean, we already have Trolls World Tour. I haven't seen that yet, but if I do, it's gonna be on Spreaker. I mean, we already seen movies that are, of course, due to theaters being closed. It's either in theaters or you can watch it through at home digitally, like through Amazon, YouTube, and Apple TV, and etc. But those are for rent only. You can rent those, but 48 hours after watch, it's gone. But if you haven't seen it yet, you got until May. But I mean, if SpongeBob was on digital unless the coronavirus is over, then I'd be very happy. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about, however, is the Mandalorian. Now, yeah, like I say, but although the season 2 hour, it's going to be, of course, just going to be Din Djarin, who is the foundling of Mandalore when his parents were killed by the separatists of the droid army. And then, of course, a super battle droid, however, who tried to kill the young Din Djarin, was saved by one of the Mandalorians. And he's just a foundling. Yeah, and he gets a songbird, which I wasn't too happy about. Because they had to help with an enemy. And then, of course, he didn't get a mud horse. But the welding of it, I thought it was spot on. The welding of it protects from enemies. And then, of course, we got when Baby Yoda was the enemy that Din Djarin showed. And then, of course, the welder, however, she knew about Baby Yoda, saying that he has parents. That Baby Yoda with just, you know, in a chest plate, at least and they decided he gets, of course, a Mudhorn symbol. And a jetpack. Like the other Jon Favreau characters got. The one for the Clone Wars, who was the leader of that watch until the beheading. Until got beheaded by Darth Maul, who had possession of the dark saber. And he also killed the Duchess Satine Kryze from, to make Obi-Wan suffer. And then, of course, he became the leader of the Crimson. And then he's later became after betrayed the Sith Order. That, of course, the rule too is you can't have more than one apprentice. There's only the master and the apprentice. But the Jedi, however, got more than one apprentices. But the Grandmaster has a lot of apprentices, like Yoda. I mean, sure, he's like 600. Well, as soon as we're gonna heading to, the High Republic. Yeah, like I say, I just don't know what's going on. But like I say, I'm just doing some connections. And then of course, the latest, but hey, in the latest, I'm not going to be doing that. Well, but if you did see the episodes of the Clone Wars with Bo-Katan, Kreese, the younger sister of Satine, the former Duchess, of course, went to Ahsoka, and they have common, and they are planning the siege, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch. They're gonna do the review, but I finally got called up so I can watch the episode, and of course, but back to the Mandalorian, and he plays the heavy. He plays the heavy Mando, also. Jon Favreau? Yeah, because we know he's the creator. But, haven't seen them. But we haven't seen them. Like, some of them may be dead, some of them just left. Most of them left. But although I do love the... Alright, yeah, like I say. But although I do love the nature of it, the grittiness of the Mandalorian, like of course, like incineration to death, like a stormtrooper getting incinerated to death, and the alien getting cleaved in half at the door, and the welder. Well, those are my top 3 favorite kills. The kill from Chapter 1, The Mandalorian. Where, of course, the alien who is wanted... Well, before the alien was wanted, the other alien, however, has been killed. Was trying to make a getaway. The Mando caught him. Jaren got him, and then of course yanked, and then cleaved in half of the door. My second favorite kill, however, came from the stormtrooper with battling the welder. You know, who's a surviving member, or the member of the guild who stayed put. That one's up for debate, however. But, like I say, well, this one's going to be a little longer than 15 minutes. I'm sorry if I'm going to do a lot of details, but like I say, it's going to be unlike any bonus episode. This one is going to be no music, just a bit of a sound effect, and of course, we are, of course, going to be doing some connections prior to The Mandalorian Season 2. And yeah, I'm watching South Park right there. I was just watching South Park on my TV, but I do want to talk for a bit for this bonus episode, because this one's going to be longer than 15 minutes. Now, back to the kills. The second one, where of course, they're being confronted by the stormtroopers. The welder herself just got some martial arts skill. But this is where I'm gonna say this is my second favorite. Grab the stormtrooper and throw him to the welding, to the incinerator, where the welding, where you weld? Yeah, but too bad that stormtrooper armor has a man in there, so it's gonna be just blood, melted armor, and of course, some body organs like eyeballs and bones. Thanks a lot, welder. You gave me a human. You got me the human remains of said armor. Gee, thank you. I appreciate it. The helmet came from his leg. And of course, I see some eyeballs and a few intestines in the armor. Jeez. But like I say, with silliness out of the way, let's get back to serious business. That is my second favorite kill. But my most favorite kill of all was from Chapter 4. Chapter 3, The Sin. Which is my second favorite episode of Season 2. Oh, sorry. My second favorite episode of Season 1. Excuse me, I forgot that Season 2 hadn't been done yet. But, you know, it's been a while. For Chapter 3, The Sin. Where after Baby Yoda was the bounty, of course, was going to get the money. First got the money. But then as he was going to make another deal with Reed Carr, played by Carl Weathers, Predator fame. The movie Predator. Not How to Catch a Predator with, Chris Hansen. But silliness out of the way again. Now we're back to serious business. He decided to go back for Baby Yoda, the garbage, and then I'm like, and I was just stunned to see the little crib, the little floating crib or carriage. I was just stunned. And then when he goes in, of course, you just see if they're city stormtroopers, and then as stormtroopers began to attack. And of course with blaster, it's too dark, I can't see what's happening. And then the fire, they used a flamethrower, and I heard the stormtroopers screaming while on fire, being incinerated. Now that is my favorite kill of all. See the burnt body of said stormtrooper. Notify his next of kin from whichever galaxy he is from, so they can say, of course, that he got incinerated to death, but yet there's no cremation. There's no information on the cremation. And also, he's dead. But other than that is my favorite kill of all. And now we're going to, of course, talk about the episodes. Well, also pretty solid. Those are pretty solid, but I'm going to get to my favorites. Chapter 6. The Prisoner. Now, why do I like this episode, however? Well, it's because you got Rick Funayama, who is the director of this episode. You got Bill Burr, and yeah, I already mentioned in my review of Chapter 6 where I did a little bit of hilariousness. But this week being serious when referencing Attorney General Bill Barr. But of course, Bill Burr, the comedian, yeah, and I was surprised he called him a wise ass. Well, comedians, good old comics are gone. The ones who are like some clean mouthing, of course. But now we are in a raunchy comedy, and raunchy comedy is my thing. And then, of course, well, in the New Republic freighter, the same one as the Rebellion, but this is the New Republic. Well, entering, and we see one of the New Republic soldiers, or the Vanguard, and he's played by none other than Anakin Skywalker himself, Matt Lanter. Matt Lanter. Not Lantern. Well, and that's not me being silly, because you know, the pronunciation, sure, I mean, the pronunciation sounds silly, but me saying it is not. But the one that stood out the most as the New Republic pilots were the three directors themselves. Rick, well, the director of this episode, Deborah Chow, who had directed, of course, I think she directed The Sin. Or The Child in Chapter 2. But at least this one, of course, is of course in my top 3. And the Clone Wars, Star Wars, Rebels. Yeah. Let me try this again. There's no editing on this. Let me try this again. Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels creator himself, and Mega Star Wars fanatic, Dave Filoni, who I already mentioned on the breakdown of The Mandalorian for the celebration panel on part of April Madness 2019. But unfortunately for August sanity, that's been postponed because all the events are going on because of the coronavirus. And of course, you know, who got to see Iron Man, the movie, while, well, Jon Favreau let him see the screen of Iron Man, while Dave Filoni let Jon Favreau to see Star Wars The Clone Wars, who later appeared on a TV series when it was on Cartoon Network, before it goes to Netflix, and before the long-awaited turn, after all these years, to Disney Plus. After a long 7 years, or 6 years. Yeah, it's been 6 years. But for those who wanted it on TV, who skipped out on the mission, yeah, it's been 7 years. And returned to Disney Plus. Alright, now, with this out of the way, let's get to my second favorite episode, The Sin. Well, Chapter 3, The Sin. You know, you can't have this without mentioning chapter. So, yeah, this is a chapter for, where, of course, that's how the story goes. Make it long story short. Okay, Mandalorian becomes a bounty hunter, and then Greek Karga comes in, and then shows the client. The client showed him that, of course, the target is a 50-year-old target. I was like, maybe a man? A 50-year-old man? That's what I thought at first. And then, of course, meets IG-11. And IG-11, however, is, of course, played by none other than Korg himself, Taika Waititi. Hey, I finally got that right this time. And then at this shootout, I was really impressed with that scene. But the music, however, not so much. And then, of course, the video target turns out to be a baby who is a Yoda species. But we call him Baby Yoda because it's much cuter. And and that child, I gotta admit, is pretty cute. And then, of course, we got IG-11 was trying to kill the target, but the Mando just did a shooting and to protect the child. And then, of course, confronted by the Mudhorn. Mudhorn was kicking Din Djarin's ass. And of course, Baby Yoda using the Force so he can make the kill. And then, of course, we are right now where we are. And of course, Baby Yoda has been brought back. And they got the credits, or Imperial. And then, of course, the Mudhorn. But then it got help from the enemy. And then, of course, and then that's where it all ends, right here. But while he did this damnedest, it saved Baby Yoda, all of the signal went off on the guild. On the bounty guild. And Mando is considered the traitor. Then, of course, we see that of course, if we get two of the bounties trying to kill the Mando, and there comes the Mandalorian cavalry. And they were able to distract them so the Mando could get away. And this is the way. This is the way. And then, of course, they are set off in an adventure. Another adventure. Yeah, this one is my second favorite because it's going back for a child. Because, you know, I mean, Mandalorians are infamous for who's good, who's bad, but this Mandalorian is more in the gray area. It's more like in a gray area. Because of, you know, what's he doing is good, what's he doing is bad. Because, you know, the moral, you know, morality. The morality. I'm trying to pronounce that. Alright. Now we are going to get to that I love the action, I love the plot of the episode, and I love, of course, about this is what I love about this is, of course, you know, can't tell for what's right and what's wrong when it comes to moral of said Mandalorian. And also that's where my favorite kill of the Mandalorian is at. The one with the stormtrooper got burned to death. But that was my favorite episode until the season finale, where the number 1, Chapter 8, Redemption. Okay, make this a long story short, of course. And the Mando goes to the planet and orders the child to stay. But then he decides to say, what the hell? Come on. And let the baby go. And then, of course, you have the soup for the child. A soup for Baby Yoda. And then, of course, where he meets with Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano. As most of you know her from her mixed martial arts career, but most of us nerds know her as the villain Angel does from Deadpool, which is one of the sex comedies. And then, of course, you know, with they trying to target. And then, of course, we see some raiders in Trandoshans with the raiders, of course, took in the ATST elite, which was part of the Empire, and then of course the Skywalker fell in the water, and of course it was destroyed. And then of course there's one bounty hunter trying to assassinate him, and then he died. But then after that, I forgot to mention he met Nick Nolte. Meet Ugar. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this show. And then of course assembles the team. And no, they are not the Avengers. And of course, when they arm wrestle, we see Kara getting choked by the baby. Baby Yoda saying, "Choke me harder, baby." Yeah, choke me harder, baby. And then, wait, really? Really? Wait. Oh, wait. Let me see the script. Choke me harder, baby? Yeah. Choke me harder, baby? Come on, guys. I'm trying to make this long story short. I mean, this ain't a recap. I'm trying to do a recap in a silly manner, not in a more mature themed manner. Well, maybe I should hire a little extreme for that. But back to the long story short. And of course, and then we see, of course, in a muddy planet, we see Grief again, who, of course, and then one night, well, even though still don't trust each other, one night, and then he was originally, of course, got the two, and then at the campsite, right until this happened, a dragon-looking fiend just grabbed Grief Karga, and then he was mortally wounded. Until baby Yoda used the Force heal, and of course, he was originally planned to betray them and take the child for himself, but the two bounty hunters, they weren't so lucky, because he decided to turn on them. And remember the time I said earlier about the gray area? And then we go back to the climb. Of course, with his stormtroopers, and then of course, we see Gus Fring. Wait, Gus Fring. Wait, you sure it's not Gus Fring? From Gone Fishing? Wait. Oh, Giancarlo Esposito. Giancarlo Esposito, who is famous for Gus Fring on Breaking Bad. See, his face is fixed, got some facial hair, and then order the attack on the climb, and they did not accidentally shot the stormtroopers. Oh, Nick Nolte's character trying to make a getaway. Get away. But then the scouts, however, killed his creature and killed him. As the Mando tried to contact him, but no answer. Okay, now, and the stormtroopers, however, just make jokes about how lousy their shootings are. And then, of course, they got along IG-11, who has been reprogrammed from an assassin droid to the hunter droid to the nurse droid. And he killed the both of them and saved Baby Yoda. And Baby Yoda looks so cute when feeling the breeze. Alright. Now you're all caught up. Yeah. The reason I love about this episode, however, is of course the action, the plot, and the reveal of the identity and the face of Din Djarin, who is the Mandalorian that Moff Gideon has a dossier on. And then, of course, he's forced to give him the child so he could be useful for the Empire. Well, his Empire. But I think this is the start of the First Order. And yes, and he's got Death Troopers too. But then, of course, we see the Incinerator Trooper. Yes, that is the Incinerator Trooper from the Force Unleashed video game. Yeah, those things may be legend, but the troops may be legend, but this one, however, made it the canon. It tried to burn down the building after Gideon just cleverly used the detonators, which is next to Jaren. And then, of course, and we see their face. I was like, I swear, the last time I saw his face, his eyes were gouged out by the mountain from Game of Thrones, Season 3. Or Season 4. But like I say, any season is better than Season 8. Because, yeah, I regret watching Season 8. Which is the worst season ever. The worst final season than Lost. And the worst final season than How I Met Your Mother. Even worse than How I Met Your Mother, the final season. But back to what I just saw. And then, of course, use the back to. But the one that stood out me the most is the second favorite kill. Which was the second favorite kill in this chapter. Was the Incinerator death. Well, not Incinerator Trooper. Not the Incinerator Trooper, but the welding incinerator. With, of course, the Stormtrooper. And just like that, everything was going smoothly until we see a lot of Stormtroopers. And Scout Troopers having them surrounded. And then IG-11 did a heroic sacrifice where he walked in the lava, walked and until he initiates the self-destruction mode. And then, of course, we're glad to see a TIE fighter pilot. And you thought he was finished? Moff Gideon was finished? Well, guess what? You thought wrong. And now we are back to the Darksaber. Of course, this episode was directed by none other than Korg himself, Taika Waititi. Or what that guy? Look, I'm just gonna call him Korg, okay? And now you're all caught up. But, at least... Now back to the Darksaber. Right after Bo-Katan was running from, of course, you know, with the Siege of Mandalore. I'm not going to ready to get into that just yet. I haven't seen Siege of Mandalorian, the final arc of the final season, and the show overall. But at least I will tell you this. I will say it's this. On Rebels, of course, the Darksaber has been stolen by one of the members of surviving members of Death Watch, who did not join Bo-Katan Kryze. And of course, with one of the weapons that Satine Sabine Wren have built, and then of course everyone, which could terminate anything Mandalorian. And it named the Duchess. But even though all the Mandalorians weren't so lucky, but her family is though. But her family were fortunate enough to escape from that one. And then the major villain of this arc, of course, has been defeated. And I'm talking about the Rebels arc, not the Clone Wars. I don't want to go into full detail on that just yet. But, like I say, but in this, we are, of course, in the troubling times with with Star Wars, but at least it had returned to its rightful owner, Bo-Katan Kryze. Gets the Darksaber, and she's the rightful owner to it, and it was cool to see Sabine using a lightsaber. Use the lightsaber. I mean, she is a force sensitive, you know. But like I say, and I hope to see an arc of her and Ahsoka one day. So to see what's going to happen next on the search of Ezra Bridger. Oh yeah, now I remember. Because Kanan was killed in the we're trying to escape. You know, when they're in a rescue mission of Hera, the woman he loves, and then of course he sacrificed himself to save his friends. And of course when getting blown up with the AT-AT, of course, just destroyed the fueling system. And yeah, like I say, I don't care whether it's a video game, a book, a TV show, or a comic. I want that to happen. The search on Ezra Bridger. I wanted that to happen. I don't care if it's part of the Skywalker saga. I don't care if it's a TV show, a film. I don't care if it's a TV show, a video game, a book, or any of it. All that matters is I want it to be, part of the canon timeline. Help it, the search on Ezra Bridger with Sabine Wren and Ahsoka Tano, and see if she really is one with the Force. Alright guys, now you're all caught up with the connections of The Mandalorian. And Season 3, it's going to come up soon. Alright guys, that's going to do about it for silliness and seriousness at the same time. I'm going to be watching The Siege of Mandalore. I'm all caught up now. And which is going to come up on the Wednesday, which is going to come up on Star Wars Day, known as the Monday Menace. Alright guys, that's going to do about it. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, may the Force be with you.